Baltimore County woman faces a string of charges, including 2 counts of abuse, resulting in the death of 2 children, after the decomposing remains of a young niece and nephew were found in the trunk of a car during a late traffic stop. The deaths came to light on the 28th of July this year, after 33-year-old Nicole Johnson was pulled over for speeding in a car. She was stopped at around 11:17 p.m. that night, on the corner of Eastern Boulevard and Wagner's Lane in Essex, Maryland. During the traffic stop, the officer noticed that Nicole had no license, no insurance, and was using fake temporary tags. Nicole was issued with numerous traffic citations and was told that her car had to be towed. She also got told that she'll need to appear in court in 5 days' time. Nicole said it didn't matter and that she won't be here in 5 days and that everyone will see her on the news. As Nicole started removing items from the car's trunk prior to being towed, the officer noticed the unmistakable odour of decomposition. When questioned about the smell, Nicole initially told the officer it was from her dirty blankets because she had been sleeping in the car. The officer was adamant there was something dead inside the bags and asked Nicole to open them. Nicole tried to conceal the contents of her suitcase by turning her back and using the blanket before removing it and exposing the decomposing remains of a child. A tied-up clear trash bag was also found to contain crawling maggots inside a decomposing body of a second child. Nicole initially told police that she didn't know that the children had been placed in the trunk of her car. She then went on to say that she thought the smell from a car was coming from a rat in the engine. Both bodies were taken to the state medical examiner's office for autopsies. The authorities said the kids were a 7-year-old niece, Jocelyn Johnson, and a 5-year-old nephew, Larry O'Neill. Nicole told police that she started taking care of the kids when her sister, Deshelle Johnson, moved from Ohio to Maryland in July of 2019 because Deshelle wasn't able to provide for them. Deshelle explained to the authorities that she had arranged to have their children returned to her in March this year, but Nicole never showed. She was unable to find Nicole or her children until detectives notified her of the children's deaths. The authorities believe that the little girl may have been dead since last year. Nicole told police that in May of 2020, while staying at an inn off Pulaski Highway in Rosedale, she became angry when Jocelyn started misbehaving, so she hit her several times. As she fell, she hit her head on the floor, causing her to die. Nicole then placed her niece's body in a suitcase and carried her remains around in the car for months. She also said that her nephew had an injury 2 months ago. She explained that he was tired and laid down in the back seat. She recalled seeing blood on his leg, but couldn't elaborate on the injury. She said he never woke up, so she put his body in a plastic bag next to her sister. When the autopsy was completed, it showed the girl weighed 18 pounds and the boy weighed 21 pounds. The official cause of death has not yet been determined. Doctors said it would have taken months of malnourishment to attain these weights. Baltimore police said it would take time to determine the exact circumstances that led to the children's deaths. Nicole is held at the Baltimore Detention Center without bond as the investigation into the matter continues. A sacked employee at a seafood restaurant returned to the business with a gun, demanded money, and shot 3 employees inside. The incident occurred around 10:15 p.m. on the 26th of July at the Fish House North located at 4554 North Tryon Street in Charlotte, North Carolina. The authorities arrived at the scene of the reported robbery and shooting, where they found 3 employees inside with gunshot wounds. All 3 people were transported to a local hospital with minor injuries. The employees provided a description of the suspect, saying a former worker, identified as Robert Barringer, pulled a handgun inside the restaurant and fired the weapon, striking 1 person, and then proceeded to shoot 2 more people working inside. During the ordeal, Barringer reportedly demanded money and property from the restaurant and then ran away from the building. 2 days later, he was apprehended and held in custody at the Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office. He's been charged with 3 counts of assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill and inflict serious injury, 3 counts of robbery with a dangerous weapon, 3 counts of shooting into an occupied property, first-degree kidnapping, and firearm by a felon. The investigation into the matter continues.